in progress. Good afternoon. Our class starts 12 o'clock, so I normally open the Zoom like 5 minutes earlier before the class. So please attend the class on time, okay? Also, I post an announcement in the chat. When you log in, please use your full name. I'm gonna check the attendance. Uh, on the Zoom, so Zoom will record your name. So if you use like same words like I don't know who you are, so please make sure use your full name. Okay. Any question from last class about the syllabus? Any question?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Again, like when I talk about slides, it's not convenient for me to check the chat. So please unmute yourself and answer my question, okay, please. Okay, so let me share the screen. Before we start the slides, I would like to mention the group. I have a group option here, so you can select the one group for your group project, for case project. For each group, just up to 4 students. So if the first group is 4, then think about next group, okay? You can do, if you have like 4 students, you would like to do together, you can find a group for all of you, okay? This is about the group. This week, we're gonna cover chapter 2. So chapter 2, you have an assignment, okay? You have assignment. So you have a homework, which is due the end of this week. We just meet for lectures on Mondays and Wednesdays. So you should have time. We don't have class on Fridays. So no excuse, okay, for later homework, late assignments. Please complete the assignment before the end of the week and do it as soon as possible after we finish the class. Okay, any question? So the slides, it's on the I have a folder. The slides I will upload another slide with the solution for the examples in the slides, okay, after we finish the lecture. And Zoom video, if you missed some part of the notes, you can watch the video again to make up, okay? Or if you missed the class. No question. Okay, let's start chapter 2. I hope you read the book before we start, because it's really good if you have a background information rather than just rely on the slides. A few slides, they're not enough. Okay, so chapter 2, we talk about future markets and the central counterparties. First, we're gonna review on derivatives and talk about future contracts and forward contracts, the difference between these two. And the very important topic in this chapter is margin account. We're gonna learn how to balance margin account day by day. Okay. So first, what are derivatives? What are derivatives? I believe you learned this from investment class. Okay, derivative is an instrument whose value depends on the value of other more basic underlying variables. Okay, so this underlying variables could be stock, could be bond, could be option, could be commodity, so could be a lot of, which is basic instruments. Okay. Derivatives play a key role in transferring risk in the economy. So why people trade the derivative? They want to transfer risk. Okay. Examples for derivatives: future, futures contract, forward contract, swap options. So we're gonna cover all this in our class. So first we're gonna, in the first part of this class, we're gonna talk about the future and the forward, okay? Reasons for trading derivatives. There are 3 reasons. You might see more, but 3 basic or main reasons for trading derivatives. First is to hedge risk, which is reduce risk, okay? And second, to speculate, take a view on the future direction of the market. For example, if you think the market, the stock price will go up, you might buy a call, right? If you think the stock price will going down, you might buy a put. So this kind of like speculation, okay? Or you want to lock in an arbitrage profit, you might do put call parity, right? You might do put call parity to arbitrage and to make a profit. So we're gonna talk about all this, which is arbitrage opportunity. Okay, you use the strategy. So future contracts. Future contracts is agreement to buy or sell an asset for a certain price at a certain time. So if you draw, oh, can you see my share screen? Sorry, one more. Can you see my shared screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes I don't know, I didn't share and the student cannot see that, sorry. But it's okay, good. Let me know, so thanks for letting me know. For future contract, there are 2 times, one is 0 and the other is T. T is the expiration day, okay? So you buy contract at the time 0, which is today, you buy contract, okay? Buy contract. Or sell a contract, either buy or sell. If you buy, we call it long. If you sell, we call it short. So that's basic. I hope you, I think you know, and I just give you a review, quick review, okay? So if you buy a contract, a future contract, that means in the future at the expiration time T, you're gonna buy assets, okay? Buy the assets for the price, which is certain price, buy the strike price, buy a strike price. And if you short or you sell the contract, then in the future you're gonna sell the assets. Okay. So I hope you know the trading, the transaction on the assets would happen in the future. Okay. A contract is usually referred to by its delivery months. So which means what kind of term we call that future contracts. The delivery period is the whole month. Okay, the delivery period is the whole month. For example, a trader should instruct a broker to buy one. One means number of contracts. October means the delivery month is in October, and the delivery period is the whole month. Okay, and oil. So this is the underlying assets is oil future contract. So you should be able to read the information from the question, from the information given. Okay, trading in the contract usually sees sometime during the delivery period. So you can buy or sell the contract before you deliver the assets, right? But the trading normally stop sometime during the delivery period. The party with the short position, please highlight short. Okay, the party with the short position choose when delivery is made. We know delivery is in October, but which day? Who decide that? So the party with the short position will decide it's October 1 or October 30. So which day the delivery is made, is up to the party with the short position. Okay, so this is kind of like a concept. Short answer question. It's multiple choice question could be. Okay, so please highlight that. Any question? Okay, next we're gonna, no, okay, good, thanks. Next we're gonna talk about a very important concept called the contract size. This is talk about the future, future contract today, the contract size. What is contract size? Contract size specify the amount of assets, underlying assets, okay? The specify the amount of the underlying assets that has to be delivered under one contract. Okay, so later on we're gonna do some calculation. We're gonna need you to find the contract size. So what is contract size? It's the amount of the asset that has to be delivered under a contract. Okay, this is a very important decision for the exchange. So it define it gonna relate it to the margin balance. Okay. Any questions so far? So we basically talk about what. Oh, one thing before we move to the next slide is about the buy and the sell. These two positions. You need to understand the expectation. Investor buy contract. What's the expectation? They expect the price of the assets will go up, so they can buy at the fixed price, which is the strike price, a lower price, right? And sell to the market. So that's the way to make money. Okay, so you need to understand the expectation for investor. If investor sell, they basically expect that the assets price will going down, so they can sell at the higher price and buy back at the lower. Okay, so you need to understand the expectation for different positions. That's related to next we're going to talk about opening and closing future positions. Delivery is unusual, so we are not talking about how they're going to deliver assets. Okay, in our class we talk about trading, right? So delivery is unusual that traders sometimes forgot how the delivery process works. Okay, closing the position involves entering into an opposite trade to the original one that opened the position. So when we say closing the position, you have an opening, right? For example, you take a long position at the beginning, which is you buy at the beginning, then your close position would be sell, right? If you sell at the beginning short, and the closing position would be buy, right? So that's just opposite. For example, a trader who buy 5 July corn future contracts. Okay, so 5 contracts and the delivery month July, and the underlying assets is corn. On May 6th, can close out the position on June 20 by selling. Okay, you see one is buy, the other is sell. So one is opening position, the other is closing position. 5 July corn future contracts. Okay, the trader's total gain or loss is determined by the change in the future price between buy and sell, right? So later on, we're going to talk about how to calculate the gain and the loss. Question?
No questions.
Okay, thanks. So next, gonna talk about convergence of futures to spots. Here, basically talk about over time, the spot price and the future price will converge together. So what that means, future price basically is very close to spot price. Later on, we're gonna talk about the pricing. Future price can be estimated based on the spot price. So that means future price very close to spot price. But at the beginning, the spot price and the future price, they can be a little bit different. In the case 1, future price higher than spot price. And in figure B, spot price higher than future price. Okay, so that two possibility is okay. Okay, but we will talk about why they're gonna merge, which is the converged together. That because buy and sell, the you see, for example, at the beginning for figure for plot A, when future price higher than spot price, then more people will buy spot price and sell future contract, buy the assets, and will push the spot price go up and push the forward price going down. So over time, you will see they can match together. And the same thing for this case. Future price less than the spot price. So spot price higher, more people will sell, the price will going down. And more people buy future contract, the price will go up. So over time, they're going to converge together. Okay, so here basically talk about the demand and supply effect. Okay, so we had the a quick review on the future contracts. And next, what about forward contract? A forward contract is very similar to future contract. The difference is what? Forward contract is OTC agreement to buy or sell an asset at certain time in the future for certain price. You see some characteristic very similar, but this is the informal, right? It's informal. There is no daily settlement for forward contract. At the end of the life of the contract, one party buys the assets for the agreed price from the other party. Okay, so next slides, we have a table to describe the difference between forward contract and future contracts. So this is from the book, page 43, table 2.3. So you need to read the book before our class, okay, to get all the background information. So it's very easy to for you to understand the slides. Okay, left-hand side forwards, right-hand side futures. You see the first private contract between two parties. So that's called a over-the-counter contract. So that's very, they use the non-standard contract. They can change the term between the two parties, right? So usually one specified delivery date and settle at the end. And the delivery of final cash settlement usually occurs because that's the purpose for two parties, right? And there are some credit risk, right? If one party they don't want to cheat, they don't want to fulfill the responsibility, then they have a credit risk, right? But for futures, they are exchanged traded. They are standard contract and easily to trade, right? And the range, they are a range of delivery days and settle daily. So for investor, in future contracts, they need to check. They need to they have like a margin balance. Make sure they do not receive margin call, right? So they normally settle daily, and the trading, the delivery also is prior to maturity. Okay, so a lot of case buy and sell rather than delivery. Virtually no credit risk because of exchange regulated. Okay, almost no credit risk for futures. So far we quickly reviewed the future contracts and forward contracts. So next we're going to focus on the very important issue, which is the margin accounts in this chapter. So what is margin accounts? I believe a lot of students have your investment accounts, right? If you borrow money, you might have a margin, right? So similar, margin is cash or marketable security deposit by investor with his or her broker. Okay, margin account minimize the possibility of a loss through a default on a contract. So If your balance decrease a lot and below the margin balance, the minimum margin balance, then you might receive margin call. Okay, so when we talk about margin accounts, you need to know 3 margins. You need to know 3 margins. So first is, we're going to talk about 3 margins. First is IM, initial margin. And then MM, maintenance margin. And the last one is called a VM, variation margin. So you need to understand the difference among the 3. And also you need to know for margin accounts, there are 3 margins. Okay, I'll give you a minute, you make a note. Initial margin is very straightforward, which is at the beginning, right? The margin requirement from the exchange. So that's the amount that must be deposited at the time the contract is entered into. Okay, that's IM, initial margin, the amount that must be deposited at the beginning. Okay. Retail traders provide initial margin, and when the margin in the margin account fall below a maintenance margin, they must provide the variation margin. Okay, so here is the relationship. Every day we have a margin balance. Every day you're gonna have a margin balance. If the margin balance on a day less than the maintenance margin, if this is the case, for example, the margin balance is 2,000. Margin balance today is 2,000, but the maintenance margin is 1,000. Oh, sorry, 3,000. I'm going to talk about the extreme case. So margin balance below the maintenance margin. In this case, for example, initial margin is 5,000. And what would be the variation margin? Variation margin is the difference between initial margin and the margin balance. So you need the initial margin minus margin balance. Initial margin minus margin balance. So 5,000 minus 2,000. You need the $3,000. So this is the amount you can bring the balance back up to the initial margin balance. Okay, so with the $3,000 and add to the margin balance, and this amount is the initial margin. Okay, I hope you understand how to calculate the variation margin. Later on, you're going to have an assignment example to ask you calculate the variation margin and the margin balance. So first, this is the first time I talk about the variation margin. I hope you understand. Variation margin is the difference between initial margin and the margin balance, and this margin balance below maintenance margin. Understand?
Makes sense.
Okay, great. So if you want to make notes, I'll give you a few minutes. So in this case, if margin balance below the maintenance margin, you're gonna receive margin call. Okay, so later on we're gonna talk about that case, margin call. Margin call means you basically lose money and is below the maintenance margin, so you will receive a margin call. Okay, so this example is straightforward to show you how to find the variation margin based on the initial margin and the margin balance. The margin balance change every day. Every day, the margin balance gonna change. So that would be the table we're gonna do in the assignment. No question, right? Okay, next, exchange clearing house. Exchange clearing house act as the intermediary in future transaction and guarantee the performance of the party to each transaction. So that's like exchange commission, right? It has members who provide initial margin and the daily variation margin. Okay, and the brokers who, if you find the broker who are not the members, then they must channel the business through a member, okay, with the exchange. The member will then require margin from the broker. This is talk about the membership, okay, and exchange. This figure and the next figure basically show how when the future price change, how the margin cash flow change. Okay, so who gonna provide the margin, the cash flow? So in this case, when future price decrease, okay, we know the long trader basically expect the stock price go up, right? And shorter expect the stock price going down. So when the future price decrease, who gonna gain? This will gain, right? And this gonna lose, right? So in this case, the long trader gonna provide the margin to the broker and to the clearing house, and the clearing house provide the margin to the broker and to the short trader. So short trader basically get the cash, get the margin and the gain. Okay, so this talk about the future price decrease margin cash flow from long trader to short trader. If future price increase, that would be the opposites, right? If the future price increase, long trader basically gain and the short trader lose. So they're gonna provide the margin to the broker, to the clearing house, and to the long trader. Okay, so this basically describe how the margin cash flow from long trader to short trader, or from short trader to long trader. Okay, so that depends on the expectation for long trader and short trader. So next we're going to talk about some calculation, and then before that, one more concept is called the maintenance margin. Maintenance margin, MM, is somehow lower than the initial margin to ensure that the balance in the margin account never become negative. Okay, so if the account balance become negative, you're gonna which means you do not have enough money, right? If the balance in the account margin account falls below the MM, I mentioned that already, right? If the margin balance below MM, the investor will receive a margin call and expect to top up the margin account to the initial margin level, okay? So that's why we calculate the VM equal IM minus margin balance, okay? So this margin balance too low, and you need to bring up the amount to the initial margin. Okay, the extra fund deposits are called the variation margin, VM. Okay, that's VM. If the investor does not provide a VM, the broker close out the position. They can sell your contract. Okay, so that's called the maintenance margin and the variation margin. question so far?
No question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. And next, we're going to talk about calculation and the issue related to price change. Okay, so first, we're going to talk about margin call case, which is when investor have a lower margin balance, you're going to receive a margin call, right? So question related to margin call would be, for example, what is the margin call price? Okay, what is the margin call price? What is the MCP? So if the question like that's how to do it. So margin call price depends on you take long position or short position, depends. If it's long position, basically you lose money when stock price going down, right? So you see the future price minus a price change, which is new price, the new price. So how to find out the price change? The price change to receive a margin call, we do the formula price change times contract size. Remember, we talk about contract size. It's the amount of assets, right? You purchase, you deliver. And the equal IM, initial margin, minus maintenance margin. Make sure they are per contract. So left-hand side per contract, right-hand side per contract. Price change calculated by what? So price change equal IM minus MM over contract size. Okay, so that's first step. Find out the price change. Okay, first step, find out the price change. So we're gonna do two steps to find what is margin call price. First step, find the price change. And the second step, find the MCP, which is margin call price. If it's long position, we do minus the price change, which is when the price lower, you're gonna receive a margin call. Okay. If you take a short position, you basically lose money when stock price go up, right? So future price plus the price change. This formula would be in the formula sheet, so you don't need to memorize, but as long as you understand that, it's easy, okay, to see the difference between long position and the short position. The difference is here. One is minus, the other is the add. Consider the investor gonna lose money, okay, for margin call. So this is the case one. We talk about margin call when the margin balance decrease. And the case two, withdraw money, which is when the investor gain or say margin balance increase. When the gain, they have a case to withdraw money, right? If you lose money, you cannot withdraw money. You need to add more money, right? So in the second case, we talk about withdraw money. Similar to margin call, before we calculate the price for the money to be able to withdraw, you need to find out the price change. But the formula for the case two is a little bit different. The price change, we do left-hand side price change time contract size equal the money to be withdrawn over the number of contracts. So again, the right-hand side is per contract, right? Per contract, we over number of contracts. So the price change from first step equal money to be withdrawn over number of contracts. For example, you want to withdraw $4,000 and you have two contracts, then is what? Then that would be per contract is 2,000, right? 4,000 over 2. And over contract size, both side, the formula would be per contract. Okay, so first step, again, you need to figure out the price change and then to calculate the price for the money to be able to withdraw. We have two positions, long and short. If it's long, your position should be gained, right? So the price increase. When the price increase, you gain. So the price calculated by future price plus the price change. If it's a short position, you're gonna lose money when stock price. You gain money when stock price decrease. So future price minus price change. So first understand that, okay? You don't need to memorize the formula, but you understand you're gonna do two steps. You're gonna do two steps to figure out the problem. So we talk about two cases, and later we have the first example related to these two cases. Let's take a look at example one. Example one, a trader buys. So when you read the question, you need to figure out the long position or short position, right? Because the formula give you different formula for long and short, right? So first you need to figure out is long position or short position. Example one, I highlight that the buy means what? Long, right? Long. Buy two, so the keywords you need to figure out the keyword. Two July futures contracts on frozen orange juice. Each contract is for the delivery of 15,000 pounds. Anybody can tell me what's this? Remember the concept we discussed earlier? What is this? The amount of underlying assets, what do we call that?
The contract size.
Good, yes, excellent. Contract size, okay? So you should be able to, the question will not say contract size is 15,000. You need to figure out what's the contract size. Good, yes. So that's the one thing you need to be able to do, okay? Figure out what's the contract size. The current future price is 120 cents. Okay, make sure you see the unit is different. This is a cents, this is a dollar. Okay, so you need to make sure consistent. 120 cents per pound. The initial margin is $6,000 per contract. The maintenance margin is $4,500 per contract. Okay. Question one, what the price change would lead to a margin call? So basically this is for case one, the first step, right? And the question two, what would be the margin call price? So question one and two combine basically is the four margin call case, right? Two steps. And the question three, and what circumstance could $2,000 be withdrawn from the margin account? So in the question three, you're gonna need the two steps, right? I didn't put the like two questions, but you need to know you're gonna do two steps. Okay, let's do question one first. What price change? Remember the price change for margin call should calculate by what? IM minus MM per contract. Okay, make sure per contract. Here is per contract over contract size. Okay, so you can plug all the number to the formula. 6,000 minus 4,500 over 15,000. Can you do the calculation? In class, we're gonna do a lot of questions, so please have your calculator and do the question, okay? Practice the question. And I'm gonna ask you, tell me what's the answer.
Is it 10 cents?
10 cents. Okay, so let me see. It's 10 cents. Good, very good. You realize that the dollar and cents difference, yes. You might get $0.1, and because the future price is cents unit, so you need to convert dollar to cents. Yes, that's very good. 10 cents. Okay, so that's question one. What the price change would lead to a margin call 10 cents? As long as 10 cents. And this is the long position. So you're gonna lose money when stock price going down, right? When price going down, you're gonna lose money. So when the price going down 10 cents, you're gonna receive margin call. So margin call price calculated by current future price. Current future price, minus the price change. So when the price decrease by 10 cents, you're gonna receive margin call. So it's 120 minus 10. So the answer is what? 110 cents. Okay, so as long as the future price become 110 cents, you're gonna receive margin call. That's margin call price.
If we were to write that answer like not in cents, would it still be the right answer?
If it's not cents, how you gonna, do the question 2? Because the 120 is cents, right? You wanna convert to dollar or something?
Yeah, like if I wrote $1.10, would that be the wrong answer?
No, that would be the same. That would be fine. Yeah, as long as it's the same as the 110. As long as you use the minus, not the plus. If you plus, then that's wrong, right? Yes,
Okay.
that's fine. Question 3. We talk about the withdrawal case, which is the you gain. We need to, step 1, you need to find out the price change. I hope in your assignment you do your work, which is follow my my notes. Okay, so question 3, I remember last semester, like students do the question 3, just skip the first, skip like step 1 price change and just do the second. I don't think you can get the right answer. Okay, so you need to do the price change first. Price change for withdrawn case, we're gonna do what? Money to be withdrawn over number of contract, right? And over the contract size. So money withdraw, you wanna withdraw money $2,000. How many contract do you have?
2.
Question 2, yes, good, 2. So 2,000 over 2, just 1,000 from each contract, right? And then over the contract size. Tell me what the price change. You might convert to the cents units.
6.67 cents.
Yes, good. So you might get $0.067, but if you convert to cents, would be 6.67 cents. Good. How many units how many decimal you keep? I would suggest 2 decimals. Okay. And then the price for money to be able to withdraw, for withdrawn, should be the future price, current future price, plus the price change, right? Only when stock price, when the future price go up, you will gain because you take long position. So 120 plus 6.67 cents, and the answer is 126.6 cents. That's the price to be able to withdraw. Okay, $2,000.
Can I just ask a quick question, Professor?
Yes, please.
So you said that the MCP was going to be on the formula sheet. With that, are you going to put the price change formulas on there too, or are we going to have to commit those to memory?
I think both will be in the on the formula sheet, like a price change and margin call price. Yes,
Okay,
all
thank
the yeah, no problem. So all the formulas will be on the formula sheet. You don't need to memorize that, but you need to be able to use that. Yeah, good question. Okay, so this is the example 1. I showed you the detailed procedure. So in your assignment, like I said, you cannot just give me one number, okay, for the question. You need to show me the procedure, how you get the answer. Okay, if you just one number, I will not grade it, okay? So in the slides, this slides, I showed the solution. So I'm gonna post the solution slides after we finish this chapter. So you can go back to see the solution. For example, question one shows the price change, how to find the price change. And then question 2 shows the margin call price. And the question 3, we basically have 2 steps in this question. You're gonna first find the price change, right? And then find the price for the money to be withdrawn. Okay, so step by step, I think as long as you follow, you should be fine. Okay, that's example 1. I showed you my expectation. Okay, I showed you my expectation. So to be able to get the full credits, do what I told you. Okay. Any question about example 1?
No questions, Professor.
Okay, great. Thanks. So next class we're gonna start example 2. That's all for today. I think you can start to work on your assignment. Okay, the first question you should be able to do, but also you can wait until Wednesday we finish the class. So see you Wednesday.
Have a great day, Professor. Thank you very
Thank
much.
Yeah,
you.
you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Thank you.